censorship, demonetization, algorithmic manipulation. 3 strikes and you're out. Is there any regular user of social media that isn't all too familiar with these terms? Since the recent YouTube purge, it would be hard to have not heard them. YouTube and censorship now go together like Vegemite on toast, and just like the real thing, if you lay it on too thick, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Sometimes I wonder if all this time I spend on my channel is worth it. Then I remember why I do what I do, and why I started this channel in the first place. To be a famous YouTuber and get all the views. Just kidding. Although that would be nice, as it would mean I could do this full time and might actually have some time to myself. No, the reason I'm working on this channel is because my country is sick. The West is sick. We used to be proud. We used to be unafraid to speak our minds, and anyone who didn't like it could shove off. We used to make fun of people who couldn't take a joke because that's what they were good for. We used to be shameless. We used to value effort and hard work. We used to value the little Aussie battler who did what he could to make a better life for him and his family. We used to value the American dream. I'm sure the British valued something too. Brothels and tea maybe? Just joking again. The British built the largest empire the world has ever seen, and contrary to the rhetoric of our Marxist soyboy betters, this empire did a lot more good than bad. Yes, by today's standards, they could have done things better, but the legacy of the empire is impossible to ignore. By and large, it brought peace and prosperity, the rule of law, and made the lives of locals better. When the British Empire left, so did the wealth, in most cases. Ask yourself, would you rather live in Australia, the United States, New Zealand, or Zimbabwe? Would you prefer to live in Hong Kong or mainland China? We've forgotten what made this civilization great. We've lost our soul. These days, you can't turn on the radio without some half-wit virtue-signalling wanker spruiking International Women's Day or dribbling about how Donald Trump is the worst thing since the Fonz jumped the shark. We used to go to the footy to watch homegrown athletes compete for honours. Now we are served up rubbish like the Pride round or multicultural round. Now we are told you can't boo an individual simply because he happens to have ancestors from a different place to the rest of us. This, despite the fact that the booing has nothing at all to do with heritage and everything to do with actions and attitudes. What happened to my country? How could we let it get to this? We used to speak with an open mind and a sharp tongue. Now our minds are closed, and those who dare speak out are labelled racist, homophobe and bigot. People are fed up. Every day I meet another battler who's sick to death of the political correctness infesting our nation. Something needs to be done about it. Australia needs to stand up and be shamelessly proud of who we are again. This is a great country full of great people browbeaten into submission by PC bullies and artificially elevated cretins. All across the Western world, people are told our heritage is built on the blood of other races. Nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, there was conflict, but never in history has a group done more to help those of other cultures than ours. Look at us now. Our own pathological need to help those less fortunate is literally destroying us. White Australians never destroyed Aboriginal culture. Quite the contrary, we've done all we can to preserve it, often to the detriment of Aboriginal people. The disastrous stolen generation myth has condemned thousands of Aboriginal children to the worst kinds of abuse. Meanwhile, Aboriginal people who do join in wider society have generally thrived. Our undeserved shame needs to end. We need to bring back pride in our heritage and our nation. We need to bring back what we value most of all: individuality, a spirit of mateship, national pride, and an undying respect for the freedom of speech our Anzacs died to protect. We need to ditch the vapid guilt of cultural Marxist political correctness, along with its demon spawn known as feminism and social justice. I created my channel because I needed an outlet. I became sick of simply commenting on videos and articles. I needed to do more. I needed to speak out about the things I love and bring a little bit of light into the world where there was once darkness. Google, Facebook and Twitter's desire to censor and favour their own brands is a kick in the guts. I recently learned that they are now strongly favouring preferred content creators over independent content. People like Jimmy Kimmel and CNN, along with an assortment of elites with special privileges. They are favoured by the algorithm and can't be flagged down or demonetized without specific orders from the top to do so. This makes the mission all that much harder, but it's no reason to stop. If they want to weight the scales towards sanitized corporate rubbish, they can, but they will destroy the site and send people elsewhere. I've already started doing content exclusive to BitChute and will continue to do so because I truly believe the site will eventually rival YouTube, if not surpass it completely. It will also make more money because, unlike YouTube, they actually want to optimize the platform rather than censor content they don't like. Fancy that, a business that actually gives its customers what they want. I still hold out hope that YouTube sees the errors in its ways and makes the site a level playing field again, but I won't hold my breath. It's a sad thing to think about because I truly love the site. I love everything about it other than the people charged with running it. People who seemingly have no idea what they are doing and apparently think YouTube needs to be more like TV in order to survive. Someone needs to tell them people come to YouTube specifically because it's not TV. Online censorship is bad enough. Now our own governments are demanding people be silenced. When the British Crown held Martin Sellner and Brittany Pettibone in detention for nothing but wanting to make a speech and interview a journalist, they committed a grievous crime against common decency and morality. Adding insult to injury, they refused entry to Lawrence Southern, hilariously on the grounds of preventing terrorism. This is a gross abuse of power and a strong indication of British decline. Given the fact that there are now hundreds of returned jihadi fighters roaming free, it is hard not to see a dark future for the formerly Great Britain. The hypocrisy is obvious to anyone willing to see it. The fact that the government deem freedom of speech more of a threat than those who genuinely wish ill will on British people is truly abhorrent. Made worse by the fact that we have just learned of yet another grooming gang, and once again the authorities knew about it yet refused to do anything about it. Their own disgusting cowardice and fear of being thought racist, or worse, afraid of the religion that shall not be named, was deemed more important than abuse, murder and torture of young girls. When children's suffering is deemed less important than the discomfort of having a false label attached, it's safe to say that you're evil. Remember, most evil people often think they are doing what's right. What happened to Britain? How did you let it get this far? You used to be strong, you used to be confident. Now you'd rather be destroyed from the inside than have some overpaid prat behind a desk call you names. Wait a minute, don't answer that. We all know the true culprit, that wonderful bringer of violence and human misery known as Marxism. That's the real enemy, the fifth horseman of the apocalypse riding on tails of utopia. Just don't point out the pit of suffering left in its wake, or you might be labelled a bigot. Everywhere we look, there's censorship and another attack on freedom of expression. Whether it's someone getting fired for their opinion, or the government detaining journalists while refusing to crack down on child rape gangs for fear of nothing but name-calling. The hypocrisy is unbearable, and this is why I work. This is why I won't stop making content on this channel so long as I can help it. YouTube can demote my content. I don't care. I'll just keep working. A journalist can call me a racist. I'll respond by calling them a journalist, and we can both be equally wrong. The mission is too important to stop talking simply because someone is putting barriers in the way. Dig a moat, I'll swim over it. Put up a wall, I'll walk around it. For too long, people have been scared to say what they are thinking. A great man once said, "This far, no further. The line must be drawn here." It's time to stand up and be counted. I'm not afraid, and nor should you be. Their words have no truth. They only have lies, deceit, and sophistry. Their power is only what we give them. Never apologize, always double down, and let the truth set you free. Thanks for listening. I'll see you when I see ya.